So, hello, Emma. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. This is Emma Clayton, and I am so interested. You've got an absolutely inspiring story, an incredible story, in actual fact. But first, I would just like to introduce myself. My name is Moira Doherty, and I am the midlife business guru. And I help and coach women to change their lives midlife to become financially free, brilliant businesswomen and turn their skill into something that can give them financial security into the future. I'm also the founder of the Wows Collective. So, Emma, tell us about you, because I know we haven't actually known each other very long, about 6 months, but you have a really brilliant, inspirational story. So, how did you start? How did you start your business? Because and you ended up with a 7-figure business.
Yeah, gosh, well, this is my second business that I'm doing now. So I'm a business strategist and I support female entrepreneurs to really step into their power and scale to 7 figures, all without the stress, the overwhelm, sometimes social media. I did mine without social media. I know that's quite contentious. But actually creating a business that is right for them, their soul, their purpose, their values, and go in with it that way. But I didn't know what I was doing. I've got to be honest. I hadn't a clue. I mean, if I just take it back 13 years ago, I gave birth to a premature baby. I was in the corporate world. I was quite senior in different marketing roles. I was launching and managing multi-million global pound brands. And my daughter came very, very early. And so life stopped. And as it does, you sort of go into that full-on mum mode. Her dad then left, and so I was in full-on mum mode, and I went back into the workplace very, very quickly. And then suddenly this perspective of life changed, and all of the things that I thought were really important in my career suddenly weren't, and everything was around my daughter. And I started to harmonize, how can I have this career whilst really prioritizing my daughter, move on forward. And I had a role that I absolutely loved, but I was 40 years old, and I was quite unwell at the time, and I was traveling the world, and I was missing out quite a lot of her life. And I ended up having to have quite a major operation, and I was off work for about 4 months, and that was longer than I'd had when I'd given birth. Wow. And had him as a prem baby. So there was this almost monumental crossroads of life just meeting. And I, took a step off the treadmill of life, that rat race of, how do I do this? That just incredible pressure of balancing, having a career that I needed to be able to keep the life that we had and support and show her and be a role model that this is how you can achieve things in your life, by putting the effort in and being smart, but also being there for her. So I just loved all of this time, and I thought, actually, there's got to be a better way. And I went back into the workplace, but actually I went back in the height of surgical menopause, which I was being told, there's no way that you're menopausal, you're too young, or I'd be battling with people over the air conditioning and they would win, and just things. And I thought, I don't belong here anymore. Like, something's happened and there's a big shift that I just don't belong. And then I was like, well, where do I belong? What do I do? And I just thought, I don't actually know, but what I'm going to go and do is I'm going to go and create more choice and more freedom in my life so that I can decide when I know it's right. So I left, and didn't have a job, didn't have anything to go to. I just knew in my soul there was this voice inside saying there is more. And I left, and I just had no clue what I was going to do. So I set up my own business and became an independent consultant. And it was amazing. I was working 3 days a week. I was able to do the school run. I'd not been to the school run and pick up for such a long time. And it was just joyous. And then, people were sort of coming to me from my network, and we were working together, and they said, well, do you know how we can do this, and how can we do that? And so I started to sort of form this group of associates and this company that was more than me, which I was loving, because it was quite lonely just being me, because as an independent consultant, you're actually still not part of the company. They go and do company meets and team meets and away days, and you're like, hello, would you like me to come with you? No, you're a contractor, you don't come. So I started to almost build my own team, and that's when it really took off into the heights. We were inundated with work, and we had amazing clients.
What were you actually doing?
So I ended up with it was Grey Bear Consultancy, and we were doing marketing and communications. So it was all around healthcare, pharmaceuticals, highly regulated industries. We did quite a lot of work with a fintech company as well. And it was all around internal, external, and stakeholder engagement, and the beauty of how communications and connections fuel what we do in a business. And so I became DISC accredited trainer and never stopped, always wanting to do more and more and more. And then 2.5 years in, we hit this 7-figure business, and I just was blown over. But it was bumpy. It was really bumpy because I'm a ninja strategist, a ninja planner, and I didn't have one because I literally was like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know where I want to go. I don't know who I want to be. I don't know what my identity is anymore. So I just fell into things, and when you fall into things, you bump into things. And so it was a really bumpy ride, and I was burning the candle trying to work out how to do things, and I don't really know what do I do with that, and putting things, I would literally, everything was on the hoof. And so it got to when we got to 7 figures, and I thought, actually, this is not sustainable in any way. And we hit the pandemic as well. And I had this team of the model I'd created was all of these incredibly talented women who, like me, had children and felt that they didn't belong anymore. And so they were kind of like, well, I don't really want to have to go and do the 9 to 5 because I want to do the 10 to 3, or I want to just work Monday to Wednesday. And so I gave a home to those amazingly talented women. That was my business model. We're all in this together. And so I'd have, PR, graphic design, comms, all of the different people in this sector, sort of, we'd all work together, and we created this incredibly talented business model. But we hit the pandemic, and who were the people that were tasked predominantly with homeschooling? And so my business model fell apart, and I didn't have enough of a structure in place to save it, and it was down to me. Now, luckily, I've always said I will never take work on that I can't do myself, even if I pass it to associates or my team. So I was doing everything, and it just absolutely broke me. And so I hit the end of last year and was like, okay, great, I've proven I can do it. I was doubted. I was told I was absolutely reckless. I was mad. I was a single mom, and it was just so carefree and negligent. Here we go, I can do it. So now what I have done is I've actually sold that business now, and I've gone back to help more women to create that same success, but without all of the bumps that I had, because there was some great lessons in there about building structures and systems and having a ninja plan. So that is, in a very tight nutshell, kind of where I've gone. And my daughter is the most grounded, amazing young woman. So actually, that's my greatest accomplishment, is that, rather than the business, but the fact that we've been able to do that together alone as a team of two. So hopefully it inspires other people that there's nothing special about me, Moira, at all.
It is inspiring, and it's there's so many women out there who are single parents, and like you say, a lot of people do just knee-jerk and go into stuff and just think, I'll do this. But at the end of the day, having a good strategy and a plan of what you want to do and a good idea is where real success lies, isn't it? And having people around you, so many people don't do it on your own, because doing it on your own is just too hard. So if you've got any advice to give to any mum, anybody that might be in the corporate world now, who's thinking, I'm not spending time with my children, this isn't working for me anymore, or somebody that's a huge amount, as you know, a huge amount of women get made redundant when they reach midlife. That's when so many of them are made redundant from their corporate job. What advice have you got to anybody?
That is such a good question. And that is what people come to me and say, help, So the one thing that I would absolutely say is to get a blank piece of paper, sit in a very uninterrupted space and write down all the things that you love to do. Because if you don't love doing something, you're not going to give it everything. And passion, focus, and energy is what creates success. Because you can have the most amazing plan of, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. But if you don't spring out of bed and implement it, this is why you're so successful, Moira, because you're passionate and love what you do, that you spring out of bed and you make shit happen. So write down, what do you love? What are your skills? What do people say to you on a regular basis? You're so good at that. Or, you know, what is it that you think, I can do that so well? Because we don't often feel that as a woman. And I would start there, and I would start to look at what your ninja skills are yourself, and then start to put together what that could look like and who you could help with that and who might need that, and then start to craft and shape, you know, what you want your working life to be. And then I would get an end, you know, where does this end? What does it look like? What does success is really different for different people.
Yeah.
You know, what does it look like? Close your eyes and think, in 5 years' time, where do I want to be? What do I want to be surrounded by? What do I want to be doing? How much money do I want in the bank? What does my family dynamic look like? What do my kids look and feel, my grandkids? And then when you know what you're amazing at and you know where you want to be, it's really easy to build that bridge. And that's the two things that I would look at. You know, where are you now? What do you love to do? Where do you want to be? And then build it, make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm all about as well, is getting women from where they are now to where they want to be. And it is, and anything is possible. And age is not anything that can stop you, because I changed my life in my 60s. So and if I can do it, and I really am just an ordinary woman, and I really can't do any tech, so you know, anybody can do it. So Emma, thank you so much for this interview. If you send me anywhere all your links so that people can get hold of you. You're also doing a workshop on the 21st of October.
I am.
About how to build your business without social media, without using social media, which I can't wait to hear personally. So thank you so much, and I will see you next week.
And thank you for everything you do, Moira. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, I'm just an ordinary woman. I really
We all are. We're all very ordinary, and that's the thing, isn't it? You know, nobody's special here, and it's just about knowing what you want and making it happen,
and knowing that it's not unachievable, that you can actually achieve anything you want.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
So good.
All right, thank you so much, Emma. I will see you soon. Take care.